Meet the player who broke the Valorant level, the highest leveled player in the game. Oh my goodness, this is no joke. Just for a little bit of context, since the game came out in 2020 during its early beta stages over 4 years ago, he would have to play 7 hours a day to be the level that he is today. And the truth is, he's an extremely high level. Actually, as of today, he's exactly 1,582. But there's way more to this story than flashing his level. Did you know he just recently got banned? Did you know there's some controversy around him? Did you know that at one time he played 60 hours of Valorant in a single shot? Well, time to meet the highest leveled player in Valorant. First and foremost, you might be asking, how do you know he's the highest level player other than him claiming it and showing his extremely high level? Well, luckily I do have contacts at Riot, and I simply asked one of them and he checked the levels globally. He is the highest ranked account in the world, period. Actually, he's 1583. The one behind him is 1,200 and something. I didn't look into that one because I just want to cover the number one player. There's a 300 level difference between number 2 and GetRex, our player for today. All the footage you're watching is his gameplay. He gave me exclusive permission in order to showcase anything I'd want from his channel, so make sure to check him out. He does have a little bit of a dream to become a content creator, and today I decided to talk to him. Now, unfortunately, he wasn't fully comfortable with a verbal interview, and that's completely fine, but he was open with me. I was able to ask him 10 questions and he wrote back responses, and it's time for you to know a little bit more about who this guy is, what does he do, and why? First and foremost, I asked the most obvious question. How many hours do you play every day on average? I think mathematically it was 7 hours a day since beta to be your level. Do you do that, or do you skip some days but grind extra hours on other days? And GetRex responded, I don't have a fixed schedule for how long I play. I play the game for fun. My dream has always been to turn my hobby into a career, but my social phobia keeps me from streaming every day. So that also relays back to why he wasn't comfortable with an interview. He does have a social phobia, which he developed by getting bullied early in his childhood. Again, it's really great how he's completely open and honest, and I think the best thing to do is just show some respect in return. I also asked him if he has a reason to want to be the highest level, and that actually circles back to him wanting to turn his hobby into a career, so he plays lots of hours because of content. Also, one of the first questions that came into my head was, how does he sustain himself financially? Like, does he have to work remotely, or how does he have a setup to play that many hours of Valorant? Well, he actually has two professions. He's a roofer and a draftsman. He learned how to be a draftsman from training during the Valorant grind, and he's also gotten money from there and saved a lot of money because he made $90,000 in earnings before Valorant with Call of Duty and Fortnite. He also provided the proof right here. My boy played drafts so well that, well, he made $90,000. But of course, that isn't enough of a sum to set him for life, so he's also a roofer as well. Now, this of course kind of surprised me because he's doing a labor job while also grinding this many hours of Valorant. Usually hours are hours and some things have to be sacrificed, which most likely means on his days off is when he's catching up on Valorant, and I'm gonna assume he sacrifices some amount of sleep since that's the only thing that makes sense mathematically. Of course, with this many hours spent, I also just asked him, does he ever see himself quitting Valorant? But he responded that as long as he enjoys Valorant, he sees no reason to stop the grind. I also followed it up by asking him why he spent so much time in a single game, and how does he avoid burning out? Well, he says he just has fun in gaming, and again, his dream is to be a content creator. But this was followed by a couple of other things. He has 3,606 hours in Counter-Strike, 1,428 hours in Fortnite, as well as 1,255 hours in Rust. So when he says he has fun in gaming, he's literally not capping. So on average, he spent over 10,000 hours on Valorant. Has he completed every single battle pass? Does he buy skins? He said, yes, I have completed every battle pass and I spent 1,200 euros on skins only in Valorant. I asked him if there's a feature that he'd like to see in Valorant, a way to better reward loyal Valorant players like himself since he's dedicated so many hours. And to be honest, his response makes a lot of sense. He would like an in-game level leaderboard. Bro wants to see himself at the top. He wants to be able to see a leaderboard leaderboard where he's the highest level. Low key though, why not? Why not? It'd have to be like a separate tab, maybe nothing in everyone's face since it's not as important as ranked, but like low key, why not? That kind of sounds fun. I also asked him what's the longest gaming session he's had without exiting Valorant, and he thinks his record was 60 hours in one go, but he's often played 40 hours at a time and then slept for like 20 hours. Bro's living as a different human. Instead of a 24-hour clock, he has a 60-hour clock, 40 hours Valorant, 20 hours sleep. Bro, what? No, that's insane. That's actually insane. I have no idea. This is some level of built different to be able to spend this much time in one shot playing Valorant. After 2 hours, I'm dead. I'm dead. It is insane that he can spend this much hours. Insane. Okay, but you have a little bit of a background check on GetRex. How about the controversy that I mentioned? Well, there's two major ones. Let's start with the most recent, which is that he did just get recently banned for 5-stack boosting. The truth is, he was just playing with a bunch of low ranks in 5-stack, but please keep in mind, on his YouTube, you can see his solo queue games and the rank up to Radiant he did solo. So I asked him about the 5-stack, and at least he was honest and transparent. He said that he played 5 stacks because he just wanted to change from the toxic community. Everyone knows how toxic the community is, and everyone immediately trolls if something doesn't suit them. So he went off, played the 5-stack, but because they were low ranked, that wasn't allowed, and it backfired with a temporary ban. But he is so far ahead level wise that he can go ahead and do some other gaming stuff and come back to Valorant and still have that insane lead and stay top tier in levels, which is kind of insane to think about. But hey, that's just one part of the controversy. The other one is actually a little bit more sad. So the other one is that he is known to quote unquote troll in high elo on EU, and I asked him to touch on it a little bit. And this is what he had to say. The people who say I troll are haters. They get upset with me because of my unique playstyle, check all my YouTube videos, and cry when I insta-mute the toxic people to protect myself mentally. I don't troll games, I don't see any reason to, and I get upset when someone trolls. By trolling, I don't mean when someone has a bad game, but the people who say we have GetRex on the team, I troll his game, and then completely sabotage me. And after doing a little bit of digging, this actually checks out. He's had some hate because he doesn't calm. He has that social phobia. He mutes. He just like literally, if he's having trouble, he'll insta mute, move on with his life, which isn't bad at all considering Valorant is still just a game. And he did develop a Bucky playstyle, as you can see here. Like he'll play Yoru. He has lots of hours on Jet. He'll use that Bucky playstyle and mess with people. And of course it'll work. And sometimes it'll backfire and people will call him a troll. Instead of communicating back, he'll mute, which further develops that story. However, we've actually seen multiple times, one of the big one is with So Marcus, who actually claimed that he is a troll on EU, but after some back and forth, they found a mutual agreement, and So Marcus actually said that GetRex is a nice person. I've actually personally filmed a video with So Marcus, and now I've met GetRex, and they're both nice people. With that being said, there is some other things, like if you search GetRex, there's a lot of GetRex copies, which is insane, considering that, you know, he's not a large trader by any means at the moment, so for him to have this much copies of his account and then those people on those accounts end up trolling, and since he's known to sometimes just mute and not communicate, like not use his voice chat, that it's much easier to get away with. So there's a bunch of GetRex copycats that just straight up troll people's games, which ends up hate back to him. And he claims on his own end that there were a lot of people who copied his Valorant name and were toxic to everyone and really trolled. Unfortunately, a lot of people think that's the reason and they think wrongly of him. And you can go ahead and search GetRex in Tracker and see tons of those. Actually, if there's one big word that he'd like me to put in this video, is he said, the only thing I would want is for the hate to stop. The community can't prove that I was toxic to someone or that I troll games unless I play 5 stacks and then they send proof pictures. You can try to find any proof where he was actually toxic or trolling, but he's personally never seen one. He's only seen hate messages without the proof exactly. And again, I think because a lot of time the proof is just that he's not talking and people mistake that for him trolling. Unlike, of course, the 5 stack, which is he's trying to say can be shown through a proof of picture, and he knows there's proof and he admits guilt to that. And I think a lot of this is interesting because he was the very first person to hit level 1000 in Valorant, and he's a little bit of a character on his own. Keep in mind, every single player we meet, every single player we play with in our games, there's another human on the other side. And yes, gaming, no matter what, is more lighthearted. It is different than real life, but still, it can affect people. The things we say can affect people. It's just the way it is. It's the world we live in. And GetRex is no exception. He's not only the highest level in Valorant who spend ridiculous hours, he's a guy from Germany with his own pros and cons, his own struggles and funs, his own dreams and jobs, just like everyone else. And while you didn't get to hear his voice directly on my video today, you got to know a little bit more about him. And I think it was a little bit of a fun video to make, so let me know what you think down below. Thanks for watching.